So I think I heard on the Manure Spreader podcast that cotton is actually like a tree, correct? So like if you don't harvest
Kind of.
it'll grow like a tree would.
It won't come back, though. It's an indeterminate plant, so it will just keep growing and growing and growing until it gets a frost and dies.
There is a podcast in Iowa, Farm4Profit was named by they. Fate stirred up a banker near, then quick came an auctioneer. Making profit was their first goal, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go. These formats shook us to our core. With Farm4Fun, you will not snore. The banker set all mics to on, and the mullet of podcasts was born. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go. Before we knew, conversations grew. Growing corn even said F you. So won't you join Tenor, Dave, Corey, and crew? Please like, share, review. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go.
Bush. Welcome back to the Farm4Profit podcast. This is Tanner Winterhoff.
This is Corey Hillebo.
And this is David Whitaker.
We are doing a Farm for Fun episode. If you are new to the podcast, we run two different formats. We release one on Monday and one on Thursdays. This is the fun format where we focus on a person, and the profit format, we focus more on a topic. So two different ways to get you entertained 2 times a week.
And as always, we love the listener reviews that you guys bring us. The latest ones that you can do, you can leave us a voicemail or shoot us a text at 515-207-9640. Today's listener review is brought to you by Gearinghoff, head of the class, no matter the crop. I had the pleasure of trying out one of their TrueFlex razors a couple years ago, and man, that thing had all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, it cuts it just like you would. Like it shaved close. Down to the ground.
One likes it
Like a razor.
right?
It's like a razor.
All right, guys. Our Apple
like
Podcast review today was Cody. Is that Cody.S14?
Looks like it.
Cody.S14, thanks for this review. Found your podcast and listened from the first episode. So that's awesome that you started with one. That's 3 years worth of podcast, Tanner. That's awesome. And he said, really enjoyed change of pace from profit to fun. You're on the fun episode, like Tanner just said. Looking forward to the next week's episode.
Yes, and listeners, if you've got guests that you think we should talk to, if you want to be a guest or a topic we should talk about, Farm4Profit LLC at gmail.com. But let's jump into that guest for today.
On today's Farm for Fun show, we head deep in the heart of Texas to go walking in high cotton, good times that are not forgotten. To meet up with a farmer that isn't scared to share his story, tactics, and opinions on TikTok, in which he has over 120,000 followers. He is Mr. Franklin Hatterton at Texas Cotton Farmer. Welcome to the show.
Hey, guys.
We obviously don't talk about this ahead of time because I did not pick the right intro music. I could have totally had some twanging going on behind
Get some
that.
twanging in there.
No, it's better. It's better for the...
That's why they call it Southern Rock.
That was High Octane was the name of that.
Is that what that is?
Free music from bensound.com.
What is going on, Franklin? Give us a little background. Where are you at? What you're doing?
Well, I'm in the southern part of the Panhandle. Kind of, if you run kind of over where the Panhandle meets the main part of the state, about halfway across the Panhandle is roughly where I'm at. Lubbock's the closest big town to me.
Okay.
And I manage a medium-sized cotton farm acreage. We're all cotton. That we don't rotate. We don't run any other crops. And probably about 50-50 irrigated and dryland.
So it's just cotton on cotton on cotton.
Yep.
Really? Do you have any issues?
There's no rotation?
with
Nope.
disease or insects?
No, not really any insect pressure. Years ago, we had the big boll weevil eradication program. They sprayed all over the state for boll weevils, and now anything up north of roughly I-20, we don't really have boll weevil issues. And as far as disease, every now and then on a wet year, we might get a little bit of blight, but we don't really have any that big of an issue with our soil.
Okay. So my extent of cotton knowledge is this is it right here. Are you stripping cotton or picking cotton?
We strip cotton. The area we're in, we grow the short to medium staple, which is stripper variety.
Okay.
Stripper variety.
Nice.
So the only thing I know about cotton is right south of us, guys, in Ankeny, Iowa, is where John Deere makes cotton pickers, and they're super expensive.
And they're made where we can't grow cotton.
Where we can't grow, it blows my mind. There's not even close to cotton around here, but they're made just miles from
I'm
us.
pretty sure Franklin duetted or stitched my video because when we did the Bush Light Combine or the Bush Light can reveal here in Ankeny, they had the X9. I can't remember the number, but I asked if it was the X9 of cotton pickers,
Yeah.
and he said, "Yeah, that is."
Yeah, that is the newest, biggest one on the market. They actually, for years, oh Lord, I guess going back to the late 70s, early 80s, the biggest header we could get was 8-row, which would be 26.5 foot wide. And with the introduction of that CS 770, they've actually took it out and expanded to a 12-row.
So you actually call them headers too.
Yes.
So can you put a different header on the front of a cotton picker?
On our strippers, we can't. Actually, I don't think you can on the pickers either. I was trained on pickers when I was in college for deer, but I don't remember a whole lot about them.
You were in college for deer. Did I miss that part of the introduction?
You must have.
Oh, you're going to have to talk more about that.
That's kind of my dirty little secret. I've done some TikTok videos on that. Years ago, right out of high school, I went to college for deer to be a mechanic and stayed working for deer. Let's see, I worked through them through high school and probably 3 or 4 years after high school, after I got out of college. I don't miss turning wrenches.
But it probably gave you a good knowledge for what you went to do afterwards, right?
It did. Even the new stuff we have, there's not too much that I can't dig into and work on it. They've changed a lot of the computers and a lot of the electronics, but as far as the basis of the machine, I can break one down and work on it if I have to.
So that might answer this question. What kind of equipment do you run is what I was going to ask, but I'm guessing it's Deere.
Yeah, we the farm I manage, we run Deere tractors. We've got a 6175R and a 8235R.
You probably would run Deere because there's really not anything else on the market for pickers or strippers, right?
Yeah, Deere's the only one that makes anything for cotton harvesting. I know it's kind of been controversial. I've had some guys argue with me on this one because they'll sit there and say, well, Case still, on their website, they still show their cotton picker, but you can't order one. They shut the plant down and they're not making any.
So why is it still on the website? Or that's where the debate gets in it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But
that doesn't add up.
Which even when Case was making them, the only thing they made was pickers. So for the last, let's see, when was the merger with Case and IH? 83, 84?
That's before my time.
That would have, when Case and IH merged, that was when they quit making strippers.
Okay.
So Deere has been the only thing we've ever used around here.
Before we go farming, let's go TikTok for a second. What do you got? 120,000 followers and like 1.8 million likes. How'd you get on TikTok?
That was actually a bet.
That's new. Normally it's kids. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I was making fun of my wife. She was sitting there watching TikTok. We were watching TV one night, and I started making fun of her. And she showed me a couple of videos, and I actually stumbled across, of all people, growing corn.
Oh, yeah.
And he was the first introduction to any of the farm talk stuff. And I'm sitting there watching it going, well, if he does this and can do, hell, I can do that. She said, no, you can't. Okay, bet, hide and watch. I'm going to do it. And of course, I try to watch my language somewhat, but I'm slightly colorful with it. And one of my sister-in-laws made the comment, she said, you cuss too much in your videos, you'll never get popular. And a week later, I think, was the one where I did one of my well motors, and it's went well north of 1 million views.
Yeah, there's a fine line of cussing to where it sends your video viral, but if it's too much, like the haters will report it enough, and then you'll get banned.
Tanner got banned last week.
Well, Tanner gets banned all the time. He's a rebel. Rebel banker.
Got to be careful with my community guidelines violations. I didn't know you couldn't say the word coochie.
It wasn't the Alan Jackson song?
Nope.
Down on the hoochie coochie? No?
Nope.
Okay.
That's what I should have done in my rebuttal.
I mean, how does Tony Reed not get flagged?
Right, and then I can't say coochie.
I think it must be you're following they don't like you saying bad things.
I saw somebody do that on TikTok the other day, but instead of them saying it, they just had that animated voice that says, "What is it like to blah, blah, blah?" Well, they just had it say, "What is coochie?"
Yeah.
There you go.
That's funny. No, it was a pair of pants. For those that haven't seen it, it was a pair of pants for women where the zipper zips from the front belt line to the back belt
Oh, so
line.
they go to the bathroom while they're out in the field,
Right.
yeah?
And I'm like, how do you not get things zipped up in that?
Ooh.
Well, there's no things to, well,
There are.
There's
there
things.
can be.
there can be. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, this took a left turn. Let's get back.
snowflakes.
Let's go back to cotton farming.
No, I'm thirsty. Let's have a beer.
Okay. So, listeners, this is exciting because this is the first time that we get to announce this brand new partner.
Woo.
We are officially a Bush Light podcast.
Not just unofficial anymore.
No, Bush. Bush Light is the official beer of the Farm for Profit podcast, and we are doing the trend, which is going to be like 6 weeks late,
Yep.
that Chuck Weldon introduced us to, and we poured some Mountain Dew into a Bush Light.
Oh, is that what this was?
Yes. Did you like it?
I did.
Let's try
It was actually really
All right,
good.
This is 50-50 John Deere Bush Light and Mountain Dew.
Oh, wow.
That should not be that good.
That is really good.
I just thought we had the best Bush Light ever there for a second.
You got Bush Light down there in Texas?
You see it every now and then, but not a lot. I've been looking for some of the Deere cans just because I want some to have on a shelf, but yeah, it's not exactly the most popular one down here.
I think I saw on eBay you can buy a whole case of someone drank the beer, but that you can buy a whole case of the cans. That's how there's people desperate for them, like down in the southeast and everything. They can't get it and they want it bad.
Yeah. Man, that was good. That was refreshing.
It's a good business opportunity. You get to drink beer for free, and then or pay $20 for a case of beer, and then you ship the case of beer empty
Right.
for $20.
That's like the beer of vodka Red Bulls. You get a little bit of Red Bull Mountain Dew type style, and
Yeah.
I always like the Yeti, a Monster on a Mountain, which is like you drink a couple gulps out of the Bush Light and then put some Monster.
Well, I think that's what we're going to end up doing because you can't. Nobody's going to be excited for us just to drink Bush Light every Farm for Fun episode. So I think that's what we're going to do.
we're going to mix different stuff.
Yeah, we might bring in some tomato juice.
Oh, Lord.
We're just going to put whatever we can think of into a Bush Light.
It's the last. If it'll be by the time you hear this, Bush Light Apple will be gone. But it's the last time they're ever doing Bush Light Apple
Ever?
ever. Yep, it's the last one. And so, but remember that we did that with the BV caramel.
Yes.
with the apple. It was like caramel apple. That was so good.
That's what we're going to start doing. So, listeners, 515-207-9640, what do you pour into your beer? That's what we want to know. What do you pour into your beer?
A little salt.
A salted Bush Light.
Yeah. Little clamato or little tomato juice. Yeah,
That's
there's
better.
a lot of different stuff.
That's better. Cool. This is really, really good. Well, that's probably one of the longer beer breaks we've taken, but I can't stop talking about it.
Well, I'm going to keep talking about it. Chuck Weldon did that, and I said, man, you're going to get me fat. Can you do this with like Diet Mountain Dew? So we'll have to try that next.
I want to talk about a tweet that I sent to Corey today.
Oh, no.
Did you see that?
I did.
The headline picture of this tweet is "Name something that you should never do naked." So I want to start, Dave. What is something that you think you should never do naked?
Oh, Dave thinks you should do all things naked, probably.
There's an easy one here because I've not been naked, but I've been unclothed, just not naked, and went outside like, we got to move hay off the hay rack, or we got to, let's throw that in the barn real quick. You try to throw some alfalfa bales that's like stemmy, and you I'm going to do it without my shirt. You are cut up by the end of the day. You shouldn't bale hay naked.
Corey?
Yeah.
I'm going to say probably, walk through the woods, run through the woods. I mean, the poison ivy would probably get places you don't want it.
Oh, that's true. Well, the Texas environment's a lot different than that. What do you think? What should we not do naked, Franklin?
Run a mower.
Yeah, my answer is going to be a weed eater. I don't even like running a weed eater in shorts.
No.
Frying bacon
that-
naked is not very good.
So frying
I have done that.
I have
Frying
seen
bacon.
people on TikTok do that, though.
frying bacon is the number one answer in this guy's post. It was don't go jogging, don't go sandblasting, a whole bunch of frying bacon. There is a couple of weed eaters picking blackberries.
Probably walking in a big field of cotton.
Everybody did it to like how they could get hurt. What about like socio-politically,
Said-
like go to church?
Said don't answer the door.
Well-
You shouldn't answer the door naked. Shouldn't go welding naked.
Welding would suck, yeah.
Shouldn't show up to work naked. Guess it depends what your job
What's
is.
your job?
You can podcast naked.
You could probably do that. Little do they know that is what we're
I think
doing.
I follow the Naked Podcast, maybe.
Use any high strength spray adhesive. Hang Christmas lights. That'd be cold.
Burr.
Beekeeping.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, wow. Never
That's
thought of
good
that
stuff.
Yeah. Use chainsaws, weed eaters, feed bottle calves. Oh, we're gonna put this down. No, it's
Yeah,
gonna
that brings a whole new thing into the category.
That's too much visual when they buck the bottle.
right, right.
The cowboy
Oh,
way. Yeah.
What was that old movie they did that for to get information out of a guy?
The cowboy way is what it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, I've seen all of your TikToks. Big fan, all of them from start to end. That's a lie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them all.
I've seen a lot of them.
But you get a lot of flack for farming on beds. Why do people give you a
Yeah.
hard time for doing that?
Yeah, farming on beds, and I've kind of caught some of the crap from the no-till crowd because they wonder, why are you using this thing here? And why are you doing that? Why can't you use drag type equipment? It's the other big thing. They all want to know why I'm running 3-point. And it gets interesting.
It's amazing that everyone's such a freaking expert and wants to tell you how to farm.
Yeah, no kidding.
You see Bushels and Barrels. He wants the experts.
Oh yeah,
You see his roots?
I did.
Huh?
Yeah, I
See,
saw
well,
that.
TikTok can be good.
That'll be interesting. But
So
Yeah.
you farm on the beds because of irrigation, right?
Irrigation and rainfall, kind of. I mean, our ground is as flat as it looks in a lot of the videos. It's not flat. It is somewhat sloping, and with the cotton, with it being up on raised beds, when it does rain, we get a lot of rain really fast, so that kind of keeps it up out of the low ground. If you've seen one of the recent videos, the dikers, I can use those in between to kind of make the little dams in between the rows to kind of hold more water in.
so that must be my problem. I got a bag of cotton when I was out at the Louisville Farm Show, National
That's
Farm
what I
Machinery
gave
Show.
you, isn't it?
Yeah, you gave me that, and I planted it by our sweet corn patch, and it came up, but we've gotten so much rain. I mean, we've gotten over 20 inches of rain since planting.
God.
It's just sat there, and our soil's just been saturated, so it hasn't done anything since it's come up, and some of them have
Yeah.
died.
The stuff we grow, we always say the cotton around here doesn't like wet feet.
Yep. So
I thought you were going to say that's the issues with your crops this spring. We had all this rain. You should have been planting on beds.
yeah,
Your corn and soybeans.
should have. I mean, honestly, we should have. We need to make the beds because that was, God, it is. We're
That's right. Don't you know that? Get up out of bed. You make it
Yeah.
before you start your day.
Y'all have had 20 inches, and I've had 4 since August of last year.
Yeah,
Wow,
I hate complaining about it because you drive 30 miles west or any direction, and they're begging for it. They finally started to get some here this last week, but man, we are in this small 30-mile radius pocket that has just caught every single storm that's come through. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. I can't say much. We were like that last year. There was a good chunk of the South Plains where I'm at. They didn't hardly get any rain, and then we just seemed to be in that right spot where we hit every single storm last year.
So let's talk about the cotton. I mean, so you pick it, right? Or you strip it.
Yeah, we strip it. Yeah.
And so then you make what do you call that? A big, not a bale.
The modules.
Module, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And those sit on the side of the field until they get picked up?
Yeah, they just sit on the turn rows. Generally what we do, our field sizes are around 50 to 60 acres.
Okay.
And so whenever we finish up, like if you've got a good stand of 50-acre cotton, it can take you 2 days. So when we get completely through with that field, once we've got all those modules done and we're moving on to the next one, we're calling the cotton gin, which they're the ones that own the trucks. They do all the hauling.
Okay.
We'll call those modules into them. We'll get numbers, and then we've got to paint the numbers on the side. They come out, pick up the modules, and carry them in. And from there, it just, whatever number we are in line, they'll run that through the gin and run it through the ginning process.
So you don't have to be 10 modules in a row. Your number can be separated even if it's 2 in a row and then another a little bit later.
It can, but there's kind of, guys generally try to get 10 to 15 or, which on a 50-acre block, we generally average 8 to 12. So we try to get those all in one because you're going to lose a little bit off the first when they first start ginning and a little bit off the last. So you'll lose, 100 or 200 pounds off the first module and same thing off the back end. So you try to kind of group as much as you can together.
It's like the grain samples they take at the elevator. They suck just a little bit out of everybody's truck, and before the end of the day, they've got a 250 bushel wagon full of grain samples.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's just it. By the end of the day, the gin's got a full module of free cotton.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the year, they'll end up having, I'm trying to remember. I think they end up with 15 or 20 bales that are theirs if we've had a really good year.
Yeah. So can you track your cotton to a certain product in the stores?
No, not really. With what we do around here, it goes into what we call a pool. So once the bales leave the gin, they go into a big area warehouse in Lubbock, and that cooperative pool will sit there and kind of sell out throughout the year, and then we'll just get the checks from them. And we never really quite know where it goes. I'm sure I could probably get a hold of them and Mike could find out, but we never really worry about it.
Interesting.
There was a denim plant, and I can't remember who had it. I don't think it was Levi's, but there was a denim plant, and if you weren't in that cooperative pool, you could sell it straight to them. So you could know every now and then where it went, but most of the time we're in the dark.
So it wasn't like selling to the cotton cartel.
No.
What is that?
It was I've actually been debating about doing some merchandise, and so it was just kind of a little hashtag I started that way I could have something for a T-shirt or a cap or something.
Instead of manure mafia, it's the cotton cartel.
What was Andy
Pretty
Pastor? He's got a cartel up there. The Pastor cartel, isn't it?
Oh, I was gonna say pickle cartel.
Oh, whatever it was.
I don't know.
all the migrant workers that would come in and pick his jalapenos and pickles or cucumbers. You can't pick a pickle. Yeah.
Peter Piper picked a pickle.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, for a long time it was Cotton Mafia, which there's a guy that I know. He's about 2 hours south of me. That was kind of his hashtag that he started, and I didn't want to start doing any kind of T-shirts or caps and stuff and have his hashtag on there. So I'll just start my own little thing.
What's the average timeline? Like now you got me curious. We don't know a whole lot about cotton, or I don't anyway. I think of cotton, and I think of cotton shirts. Okay, so how long does it take from when you harvest it to get to
even go back to when he plants it?
Yeah,
I don't even know how long the growing season is.
Yeah, how long is the growing season to start with?
Around here, we'll plant it in late May, which this year was odd. I planted a hair later than I normally do just because we were waiting on a rain. But generally from mid to late May, we'll plant it, and then we start looking at defoliating and harvesting right after Halloween. And
then so defoliating, like harvest, then if you're doing that, then from there to the shelf, do you know how long it takes after it leaves you?
I don't.
Okay.
A lot of times the cooperative will sit there and they'll hold on to some of that cotton, kind of like storing grain. They've got enough of a pool, they can kind of absorb some of that, and they'll sell it out as the market gets better. But we pretty well try to get our payment as quick as can, because storing it's not exactly the most safe bet. So cotton's very, very volatile.
So if it's volatile, do you ever hedge and sell futures, or like corn, or is it just whatever the co-op offers you that month, weekday?
That one I don't know what everybody else does. Generally, what we do is we'll take some of ours out and we'll market some on our own, and then the rest will go into the pool. We're just now kind of starting to play with the markets. A lot of guys are just now starting to play with the markets around here.
Interesting.
Are the markets good right now for cotton?
They were. I haven't looked at them in the last month to see what it's been doing. I've been, well, I've been chasing my tail around the last month. I hadn't had time to look, but I know it was, last time I looked at it, it was about $1.20,
So
which is record highs for us.
what affects cotton markets? Like, I know what affects corn market, but is like Russia and China fighting? Does that affect cotton, or like what specifically would affect cotton? More clothing being bought, etc.
I don't know all the ins and outs that go into the market. I know they look at worldwide roughly what's going to be in production this year. So they're looking at how many acres worldwide are planted, and then they look at what the weather patterns are doing, who's going to have cotton this year, who's not. I know the prices kind of leveled off a little bit. They kept rising, and then right about the time the coastal bend area was planting, which South Texas is what we call the coastal bend, they plant in February because the temperature difference, and they started losing a lot of cotton. It wasn't looking like they were going to get a lot, so the prices kind of started dipping a little bit, and it really depends on, I guess you can say, how many acres are in and what the worldwide market's going to look like at the end of the year.
And I'm sure there's some secondary type stuff. You got cottonseed hulls and
I was just reading
oils
about
and all
that.
Yeah.
Said cotton fiber can be cleaned, prepped for market, but there's other crops of this that can be used. Cottonseed is the valuable product that can come out of this. For every 100 pounds of cotton fiber, about 160 pounds of cottonseed can be harvested and reused for cottonseed oil, cottonseed meal, fertilizer, or feed for livestock. Only 5% of the seeds harvested go back into seed production for the next year.
Yeah, I'm one of the 5%.
So
really?
You grow seed cotton?
Yeah, we've been in a program in the last 3 or 4 years now with FiberMax to where we grow production seed for them.
So is that a hybridization? Are you got males and females crossing, or how does that work?
Now, cotton is, I don't know how to best put it. I guess kind of asexual.
Self-flowering?
There's no male plants and female plants specifically.
That'd be like soybeans.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're producing a variety.
Well, the closest relative that I can think of to cotton that most everybody knows is okra.
Okay.
Okra?
So,
I was going to say cottonwood tree.
No, so we'll go out and they'll give us a certain variety. Say, that they, like this year, they wanted us planting the variety that I gave you in Louisville, that 1888 FiberMax.
Yep.
They came to us and said, hey, we want you planting this variety this year. Okay. And they'll guarantee us so many bags of that seed. We'll go out, plant it. And at the end of the year, when they gin off the cotton, they'll catch the seed, carry it to a lab. They'll truck it over to a lab. They'll test for germination. There's a few other traits they check for in it. And if it passes, they'll end up keeping it. And then they take and delint it, pull the little fuzz off, and then retreat it and rebag it.
Okay. So this next year in Louisville, I'm going to need something that can handle some wet feet in Iowa.
You're going to talk to the guys in Georgia about that one. Field rows.
There we go. I had Will Brinkley. He sent me some tobacco seed. I couldn't grow that either.
That is you just
I'm
can't.
failing. I'm not a good farmer.
Corn and soybeans. That's Corey.
Now,
So I
don't
heard
feel bad. I was talking to Mike Burkhart. I was looking at he does the videos on the updates on his garden stand where I've given him some cotton seed.
Yep.
And I made the joke with him as hell. He's got a better stand than I do this year.
what's he got, fans over there keeping the ground dry?
Probably. Well, they've been dry. He said that he told me this morning they finally got a good rain.
So I think I heard on the Manure Spreader podcast that cotton is actually like a tree, correct? So like if you don't harvest
Kind
it,
of.
it'll grow like a tree would.
It won't come back though. it's an indeterminate plant, so it will just keep growing and growing and growing until it gets a frost and dies.
So yeah, that would not work in Iowa. It would die. But
So does it not open its bolls or its actual cotton until you spray it? Or okay.
If we get a good, what we call a killing freeze below about 20 degrees, once it kills that plant off, the boll will start opening up. Generally, the plant is done before then, and we don't want to start losing the few bolls that are already open. So we'll spray some type of an acid across it to kind of help rip the bolls open. And then just usually gramoxin to kind of help shed the leaves off and finish killing the plant.
Interesting. That's just so different than what we've got going on, because you can't just a corn stalk will die. I mean, it just doesn't live forever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, clearly frost and freeze will do anything to most plants, but still. Remind me again where you're at. How far away are you from like the Houston area?
Oh, long way away. I'm about 8 hours north of there.
Okay. Now there's some pretty hot spots in Texas right now. A lot of headlines around corporations moving their operations and headquarters and teams of employees down to Texas. Is that affecting you guys?
Not really. It might affect some guys over towards Lubbock, which is about an hour to the west of me. It might affect some of them, but where we're at, it's not really going to affect us too much. And I was actually laughing, one of y'all's last podcast you did with the squad, Grant.
Yeah.
He was talking about the Bitcoin mines. They actually put one of those in about 30 miles away from me, just off on a ranch out in the middle of nowhere.
Huh, really? I guess one way to use space.
Sorry, are you a farm sim player? Like, is there farm sim cotton?
There is. I'm kind of disappointed though. Most of like what he was talking about with the mods, most of those are for the grain farmers. They don't have a lot out for us cotton guys yet.
Oh, there's your opportunity.
Yeah. He said he's been busy the last couple of weeks running around. That's probably what he was doing, was building cotton mods.
Text me this morning, yeah. But I don't know if it was cotton mods.
That's funny.
Huh.
That's pretty good. The other thing that I picked up out of your TikTok account was you guys don't have any soil down there. It's all dirt.
Yeah, the argument that I got into on that one.
It's probably the same thing with your bull buggies and bull wagons and bull carts.
Yep.
For our auger wagons.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, I'm trying to remember what they call. I can't remember. I've had some friends that have gone over to Australia and worked in the ginning industry over there, and I can't remember whether it was the module trucks or the bull buggies over there. One of the two, they call it a moon cart.
What?
Yeah, I meant to ask Uppy when I saw him in Louisville, and I plumb forgot.
I bet you he'd stitch you right back. Just make a TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to be heading back to Louisville this year?
I'm going to try. I think we drove down this last year. I think we're going to fly next year if we go.
Gotcha.
That was a long drive.
Or what about Farm Progress Show?
It's even longer.
Where's that at?
Iowa.
Boone, Iowa.
Boone, Iowa.
Oh, shoot. Well, when is it? That's the other thing.
Last couple days of August.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun one.
I don't know.
That would
kind of depend on irrigation if I've still got irrigation going.
Yeah, I mean, so I imagine you come to the Farm Progress Show, and it's pretty Midwest. It seems to be really corn, wheat, beans type stuff.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't have a lot for the cotton guys. Probably has some stuff.
He'd come for the people.
Yeah, he comes for the people.
Well, that's about how Louisville was. I mean, I'm walking around staring at combines going, I have no clue what that is.
What would be like a big show for cotton guys?
Honestly, I don't know. I know there's a farm show that they put on up in Amarillo, up in the northern panhandle. But as far as for cotton, I don't really know that we have a dedicated show.
There you go. We found a hole. We got to make one.
Yep.
The Farm4Profit Cotton Show. I think we could do that.
Yeah, we're kind of the oddball of the farming world. I've always said, with my wife and with other people, that's kind of why I keep doing what I'm doing, because there's not a lot of cotton farmers out there that kind of get their content seen and kind of get recognition for what we're doing and kind of educate on how we do it and where your clothes come from.
Right. Right. So for us up here that don't know much about cotton and have only picked up on you from what we've seen on TikTok and got to, the short conversations we had in Louisville, what are we missing? What do we need to know?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, aside from, if the price of cotton stays where it is right now, your clothes are going to start getting a lot more expensive. Aside from that, I don't really know.
Yeah. You do anything for fun besides chasing down all your irrigation wells, making sure they're still pumping?
Oh Lord, fun. What's that?
I just thought of something. You know how we have shrink on corn?
What?
We have shrink on corn and
Shrink
beans.
and drying.
When
And,
you just
Livestock, too.
You just thought cotton. I was like, well, if I buy an all cotton shirt, ran through my head, random facts from Dave, that my shirt's going to shrink. So do you have shrink from when you take it out of the field to when it gets to the gin?
No, we don't. Right after we put it in the modules, we put a big tarp over it to keep rain and everything off of it. And I think a lot of that shrinkage comes in the processing when they're making the string and the fibers that go in. They're stretching it out, and I think that's where all your shrink's coming from. We don't run into that issue in the field.
Sorry, squirrel.
so you, the consumer, just pay for it because you're buying too small of a shirt, probably. You want to fit into that large.
Well, it always fits the day you buy it, and then it shrinks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're on the border.
Yeah.
Real life problem.
Yeah.
First world.
I feel
First
it.
world problems.
I feel
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Sometimes you just gotta swallow your pride and just get that bigger size.
I don't want to do
And
it.
it looks so
Nobody
much
looks
better.
at the tag anyway.
I know it, but it's in your mind.
What's in your mind?
The cotton farming. I mean, once we've got an off season, in my off time, I am a volunteer firefighter. I'll go to schools and kind of instruct on that, but I mean, really, cotton's kind of finicky. I mean, I'm out here 7 days a week checking on this stuff. It's not something you can just kind of walk away, bless it, and hope it does good. You've got to be kind of on your toes.
They were talking irrigation. Do you do any? I'm guessing I heard pivots. Do you do any flood irrigation?
We don't. We got away from flood irrigation and went to subsurface drip.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of guys nowadays, if you see anybody that's flood irrigating around here, they're doing it mainly they're starting to flood irrigate because they've got a flood for, I think it's 5 years, and then they can get the EQIP money and have a drip irrigation system put in.
Oh, really?
So is that
Yeah.
drip irrigation Edifim?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
No free ads.
Well, we know some people from there, so that's
some people-
Yeah,
some
hopefully
people?
a little drop of a hint of what's going on in the future for us, maybe.
No, that's pretty cool. Well, this has been fun. We're got to cut short a little bit. We always schedule ourselves plenty tight, but as
Tanner
we,
schedules us.
I always schedule us pretty tight. That's yeah. I have broad shoulders. See, someone has to be blamed, and it just happens to always be me. But when things are great, it's all Corey's idea.
Yep, exactly. Someone has to have narrow shoulders.
Oh, that's funny. Or a big head.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at these jokes. I got all kinds of jokes today. They're all, Corey just fed them to me, wrote them down so I could read them again. No, what is some of the best advice that you have ever been given? Listeners, if you've got guests like the Texas Cotton Farmer, or you yourself want to be a guest or a topic you want us to explore further, send it to farm4profitllc@gmail.com or text it or leave a voicemail at 515-207-9640. Again, big thanks to Busch Light for jumping on board the Farm for Profit podcast being the official beer. So if you've got ideas of what we should pour into our beer, send those over as well.
Yeah.
So what is it? What's the best advice Franklin's ever been given?
I guess when I first started working for somebody else, when I first started managing the place I'm at, I got told, treat it like it's yours. Don't ever do to somebody else's field what you wouldn't do to your own, and you'll be successful at it. And I do. I take it extremely personal. I would never do anything out here just to say, okay, I'm tired, I'm going to do this. No, I'm going to treat this 100% like it's make or break. farm like there's no insurance and like it's mine.
Ooh, I like that. Farm
That's
like
good.
there's no insurance.
Yeah, that's good.
Could you do that? Farm like there's no insurance?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how you're supposed to do it.
It's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. If people want to find you, how do they look you up? What's your TikTok handle? And then are you anywhere else?
TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And it's all the same thing. It's all Texas Cotton Farmer.
And you got some underscores in there, don't you?
Texas
Or not?
_cotton_farmer.
I don't know. I can't remember whether there's an underscore on the YouTube or not. You can find it all through my TikTok page. I've got them linked on there. And I've been kind of slacking. I don't have the editing software I need for the YouTube videos or haven't figured out how to run it yet. So there's really only one video on there for now. I haven't put anything else up.
Hey, everybody's got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I just upgraded the drone, so I'm been kind of waiting on some decent days with no wind, which welcome to West Texas. There's always wind. So I'll get some up eventually.
That's cool. Well, we appreciate you hanging out, spending some time with us, sharing a little bit about your cotton crop and your story because we haven't had any experience with it.
Nope.
So hopefully our listeners find it interesting as well, and hopefully you had a good time. But Corey, what do you say? Should we send them out?
Crack a bush light. You deserve it.